What is up, Pro Guides family, and welcome back to another upcoming changes video. I know it's pretty memey at this point, but these changes are actually very massive. Not only are they making huge changes to the bot lane, but they're also changing up the jungle meta right now. There's going to be some big ones in this video, so watch out. All right, guys, let's get into these changes. First up, we're going to be talking about my favorite part, as you guys know, the tons of skins that are going to be introduced in the next patch. So sadly, this skin line is not as good, obviously, as the hype Pajama Urgot skin, but the Coven skin line is actually really great, and I'm a big fan. Definitely well done, artists at Riot. Coven LeBlanc, Coven Morgana, Coven Zyra, and the Prestige edition of that skin are joining the skin lineup next patch. Once again, they're super well done and have that dark, evil witch, or maybe even bad girl aesthetic that a lot of us love. All right, now let's talk about the jungle personal power. Riot wants to add some more power to junglers, providing them more individual agency over their games. Jungle items are getting a small quality of life buff. Hunter's Talisman, Hunter's Machete, and Skirmisher's Saber and Stalker's Blade are all receiving an extra passive that amplifies their own healing by 50% when their owner has less than 30% health. This should help with those early clears, allowing more junglers to remain healthy enough to gank for their laners. Otherwise, this also means that junglers can opt to hold onto their health potions until the end of their clears to utilize the extra healing they've now stumbled upon while low health. Also, you'll now gain a home guard buff upon respawning before the 5-minute mark if you have a jungle item. It'll be 50% movement speed, decaying over 5 seconds. Shared kill XP is going down by 20% from levels 1 through 6 and 10% from 7 through 8. Solo kill XP, however, is going up by 20% at levels 1 through 6 and 10% at 7 through 8. On top of this, jungle camp experience is going up by 10% after level 9. So what does this mean for all of you junglers out there? Well, if you're a champion who likes to scale like Karthus, Kindred, and Graves, you're going to get a little bit stronger because of the XP buffs. But let's say you're a champion that wants to snowball early like Rek'Sai, Elise, or Xin Zhao. Well, you guys are going to suffer because of these changes, because you're going to get less XP per kill, and also the enemies that you successfully gank won't be as far behind. So that will be a nerf to all of those snowball early game junglers. All right, now let's get into the top lane. Set has been a powerful champion since his release. He was given a ton of strength because his design was one that sacrificed a ton of mobility for it. However, time and time again, he's shown that he's been a little bit too strong, and Riot is looking to tone him down a bit. His W's damage is going down from 90 to 210 to 80 to 180. This will make a noticeable difference at all stages of the game, especially at level 9 when you'd expect Set to be absolutely massive with a maxed out Haymaker. Overall, this won't take Set out altogether, but he'll have a harder time dominating lane around the 10-minute mark onwards. I can just tell you from experience that this is a good thing, and hopefully all you top laners out there who've been mauled by Sets time and time again can agree with me. In spite of previous buffs, Urgot still isn't performing where Riot wants him to. The last set of buffs helped, but not by much, and Urgot is still both an unpopular and mediocre pick at best. As a result, Urgot's Q damage is going up from 70 to 205 plus 0.7 total AD to 25 to 225 plus 0.8 total AD. His ult's cooldown is going to be reduced from 120 to 70 to 100 to 70, and his E is getting a bug fix. These are some big changes, guys, and it's likely that Urgot will make his resurgence very soon. And if you just YOLO-buyed that Urgot skin last patch, but don't even play him, well, now's the time to start learning him. Alright guys, that's it for the top lane balance changes, so let's hop into the jungle. First up in the jungle is Master Yi. He has been dominating all elos. It's thought that by nerfing funneling, we would also see a nerf to Yi, but he just doesn't seem to care and is still going on and dominating games a little too hard. As a result, Riot is nerfing one of the more frustrating parts of Master Yi's kit to deal with, the bonus attack speed he gains from his ultimate. And it's going to be reduced pretty intensely, guys. It's being nerfed from 30 to 80% to 25 to 65%. These nerfs are going to significantly cut down Master Yi's damage output, but he'll still probably remain a solid pick in low elo, even though this will definitely affect him in high elo. Wow, this might actually justify our titles. Massive changes, guys. Next up on the list is going to be Evelynn, who Riot has decided to buff actually. She's doing pretty decently, but Riot has decided to put her in a better place than before by giving her some love. Her Q's damage is going up from 25 to 35 to 30 to 50. This is actually a massive buff because don't forget, this is for each individual spike. Since she spams this ability, even the 5 extra damage at level 1 is quite significant, because she'll be using it multiple times within a short span of time. Alright guys, that's going to cover the jungle changes, so let's head down to the mid lane next. First up for the mid laners is Ryze. The last set of minor buffs he received hasn't done enough for him, and Riot has decided to further buff him. Ryze has always been a champion that doesn't really do so well in low elo, so I'm excited to see him receive some buffs that hopefully won't make him OP though. And I remember those times when Ryze was OP, my god, playing against him was awful. No one likes to play against an OP Ryze. Once again, Riot is taking it slow, really slow with these buffs. Ryze's base health is going up from 570.48 to 575, and his base AD going up from 55 to 56, and his Q's movement speed bonus from 20 to 40 to 28 to 44%. Alright, we all know that a single balance change can break Ryze, so despite these being super small buffs, we really don't know what's going to happen to Ryze, so they might have turned him into a monster. We don't know, we'll have to wait and see. But these base stat buffs are small, and his movement speed bonus on his Q will definitely help him out, maybe give him some more tools to outplay the opponents. But to be honest, I don't believe that this will affect his stance in low elo. Orianna has been underperforming for a while now. She's far from the worst mid laner in the game, but she's hovered around a 47 to 48% win rate for pretty much the entire season. Orianna has needed a buff for a while now, and she's finally getting it. Her W's bonus speed and reduction are going up from 20 to 40% to 30 to 50%. Also, her E's AP ratio is going up from 0.4 to 0.5. Orianna's W is going to be so much stronger next patch. The additional movement speed and slow creates a lot of versatility and ultimately more kill pressure. An increased slow means that it'll be harder to get out of the ball's range after being hit by her W. As a result, landing her ultimate will be a lot easier. Also, the extra movement speed provides some great utility for herself and her allies. 10% more movement speed in the early game makes it easier to avoid ganks, thus Orianna will be a safer pick next patch. I missed those Orianna mids a couple seasons ago. She was picked a lot. Alright guys, that's a wrap for the mid lane, so let's talk about where all the action's happening, the bot lane. The bot lane is facing a plethora, I like that word, a plethora of balance changes. It's felt pretty unbalanced for a while now, with certain picks absolutely dominating the bot lane, while simultaneously bullying out the ones who haven't been able to fit in. First up, Senna is up for some nerfs. She's been OP for far too long, and Riot has decided to slap on some more nerfs for this young girl. Overall, she's sitting at an okay place, but she scales way too reliably. Thus, her passive's drop rate on minions she doesn't kill has gone down from 25% to 22%. This isn't a huge nerf, but it'll still hurt Senna's scaling for sure. Not picking up as many mist wraiths potentially hurts the amount of attack range she can farm up. Without massive attack range, Senna loses a lot of what makes her so powerful. Alright, guess who needs another nerf, guys? Aphelios does. Man, this guy just can't catch a break. Rather than receiving armor penetration as a level up bonus stat, he'll now receive lethality. This means that his 3 to 18% armor penetration is now becoming 2 to 12 lethality. Also, his Q will now scale from levels 1 to 13 instead of 1 to 9. At level 13, his Q will have the strength it currently has at level 9, meaning that it'll take a lot longer for this guy to actually come online. I'm sorry, Aphelios mains. Varus, most notably with his poke build, has been far too powerful in the bot lane. As a result, he's scheduled for some nerfs as well. Varus' nerfs don't target his damage, but they do substantially take away from his early kill pressure. His R's cooldown is going up from 110 to 70 to 130 to 70. Slapping on an extra 20 seconds on his ultimate cooldown means that he's not going to have as many opportunities to aggressively ult his opponents. Not only does this mean he'll have less kill pressure, it also takes some safety away as well. Essentially, his R is his strongest self-peeling tool, and not having it for a potential tower dive is absolutely crushing for Varus. He'll still have the same playstyle and probably remain a relevant force in the bottom lane, but there should be more room to capitalize on Varus' immobility now. Kallista's presence in the top lane, as well as her tyranny up in the top lane, has created a need for change. And as a result, she's joining the nerf bus. Kallista's base armor is being reduced from 23 to 21, and her E's slow from 25 to 45% to 10 to 42%. This is an absolutely crippling nerf. The bright side for Kalista players is that her damage isn't being touched at all. The bad news is that tagging an opponent with a spear and then executing a minion for the slow won't be as effective anymore, and this is really what made her so powerful. It'll be much easier for opponents to run away now, meaning that her ability to poke enemies during the laning phase has gone down substantially. She'll still have an amazing all-in and solid damage output early on, but these nerfs should allow opponents who want to run away to actually do so now. Instead of getting slowed, chased down the lane, and losing a giant chunk of their health, they'll just simply walk away. It's likely that these nerfs will make Kalista a lot weaker in the top lane specifically, as she'll have a harder time kiting and chasing opponents. Xayah's been underperforming significantly since the beginning of the season, so it's nice to see her receive a buff as well. The E damage fall off per feather has gone down from 10% to 5%, meaning that her damage, let's do some math here guys, let's do some math. You got it. Her damage is going way up. Especially when pulling multiple feathers through an enemy, Xayah is going to deal a lot more damage than before, so players are going to have to be more cautious where the feathers have been placed when fighting her. Surprisingly, Ashe is set for some buffs. She's been doing just fine, but I guess that's not enough for Riot. Her Q's attack speed is going up later in the game. Its ratio is going up from 20 to 40% to 20 to 60%. That extra 20% bonus attack speed will be especially nice in the late game once Ashe has some items finished already. That's basically a little more than a free dagger in stats, so honestly, there's definitely nothing to complain about there. Unless of course you already hate Ashe, in which case you'll probably hate her some more now. While this will make Ashe stronger in the late game, she's going to have a lot more competition to deal with in the bot lane early on because of all the various buffs to other marksmen. The winner of all these balance changes in the bot lane though is definitely Tristana. Her E's bonus AD ratio is going up from 50 to 130% to 50 to 170%. This buff is massive, and I'm shaking in fear thinking about all those courageous Tristanas jumping in fearlessly only to meet their death. In all seriousness though, this makes Tristana's all-ins even stronger than before when she's able to manually detonate her bomb. Tristana's pressure in lane and her late game are going to be even stronger as a result of these buffs. We'll definitely see her bottom alongside an aggressive support much more often. Oh, finally we're done with ADC. Let's head into supports. Soraka still hasn't managed to come to a decent power level after she got gutted for being too powerful as a top laner. This last set of buffs should hopefully put her where she needs to be. Her base mana is going up from 375 to 425, and her Q's mana cost has gone down from 60 to 80 to 45 to 65. Soraka should be able to spam her Q much more often now, meaning that she'll prove once again to be a troublesome champion to lane against. While this buff alone isn't significant, if you couple in the ones she's received previously alongside it, it's quite clear that Soraka is ready to once again scrap down in the bot lane. Alright guys, that's it for our upcoming changes video. If you guys like this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. And once again, if you want to get better at League of Legends, make sure to go to ProGuides.com and find your challenger coach today. There is no better time than right now to start climbing the ladder and improving your skills. Also, don't forget to join our live class with Pobelter this Friday and this Saturday. It's going to be amazing. It's going to teach you guys how to master the mid lane. Should be super fun. That's it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Good luck in your next few games. I'll see you on the Rift.